Hello and welcome to Carmen's book review of One Child by Tori Hayden. And so the question, and I wrote them down. Sorry for the bad light. Here we go. Okay. Your reaction as you read through the story, be specific with examples from the book. So when I was reading, I started the first reading. I wasn't sure about it because when you read the news about the child, dragged another child into the woods and set him on fire. So it was like, okay, all right, what's going on? But then I came to the passage in my book, and so it was about when Sheila came to the classroom and Tori told her that there's only two rules. And then, yes, I highlighted this because I wanted to know when later I'm gonna go or read this book or will be using this maybe in my classroom or as reference for something. So yes, and I'm a book hoard. Yeah. So she said, however, all of them lived chaotic lives and brought chaos on others by the nature of the disturbance. I did not feel it was my right to add the chaos by leaving them to guess what I expected of them. So she found that establishing a structure is useful and productive, and I have to agree with her. So this was a passage or what I want to keep in mind when I'm gonna be the teacher in my classroom. Then when also it touched my heart when they was reading The Little Prince together. I read The Little Prince when I was a child. I read The Little Prince to my son as a bedtime story. And like it says in the story, and Sheila tells Tori all the time that they saved each other, and it's just very amazing. Gives me goosebumps. So, also how Tori handled the sexual abuse and how she talked about it with the students. This was really how she handled it. It was pretty good. So I keep this in mind too, because she really talked openly, to the point, used words wisely because they are still children, so you cannot say, some other things. And then, of course, the letter she got from Tori, a few months back in the epilogue, that her tears, changed to joy. So, from this very disturbed child who would not talk, was greedy looking, was teased by the other children, to the girl who went out to new school and participates in the classwork and does homework and be good. And I loved it that she said to her, you know you don't have to be good for me, you have to be good for yourself. So this was like, yeah. So it was that from really down there bad to super wars, oh my god, to ta-da, that's what you're gonna get when you be consistent and give love to a child. You can change a child, you can help a child, and that's what I want to do. big dreams. I know. So number 2, your major takeaway from the book. What were the most influential parts of the book on your budding teaching careers? That you should not judge someone from a news story, especially in this book, or a student record. So you should always you have to read the IEPs before you're gonna go for the pre-planning, so you know what you walk into. But you should also be open-minded when you're gonna meet the student, because a teacher, as a teacher, has this perspective of the student, and you're gonna have a different one because you're a different person. You know, uh, you know, like if you're gonna be in a regular education class, some you're gonna drive with some children, and this is the same with you drive with some people, with some grown-ups, and some you cannot drive because they are like different. And so, or I'm different, they don't cannot stand me. So um so I think that Tori kept an open mind. Of course, she was worried, but then, she kept an open mind, and this is like what I want to do, not to judge before I'm going to go in there. No, I'm going to make my own opinion about every single person, every single student I'm going to meet, and not let somebody else, you know, tint the waters, or whatever you're going to say this in English. Also, this is what my teacher said in high school. My last observations I had, and it ended today. I was really sad. Um, she told me, she said, Carmen, every child can be taught. And her paraprofessionals told me a story about a student. She really scored low, and they was told that she could not hold a pencil and gonna write her name. And but by the end of the year, my teacher, my CT, could make this girl write her full name, first and last name, despite they said she will not have or can hold a pencil or can write her name, but she could. After the year was over, she could write her first and last name. So I'm a big believer that she can teach children anything, and that every child has a story. And that's important too, because um, their behavior when they come to school can be because they're frustrated, because they experience something at home, something awful. Um, it's not because you as a teacher did something wrong that they behave this way. So you always have to step away and see what's going on beyond their lives, in school. So dig a little bit around, get information from the parents or people so you know why this child is like this, and you want to help. And then this I have to always have to keep in mind. Some children are loved at home, and some children come to school to be loved. And this is like I have not encountered it yet in my observation. Third observation, they was all really sweet, and their parents are very involved in their lives. So they are lucky students that their parents are behind them, and they work together with the teacher and the parents to have the best for them. And so but I work in a daycare, and I'm doing after school, and I have encountered children from situation that so I know I'm a mandatory reporter. I know this. Trust me, I will report, because I'm not letting this go. This is a child, so no, no, no. Um, so I make sure, because you're gonna get a feeling, because also a mother. You know, when a child acts funny, and comes and sits next to you, and just leans their head on it and says, "Miss Common, you're so sweet. Well, Miss Common, I really love you," and I was like, "I love you too." And then, then they open up a little bit, and then they talk, and then I'm like, mm, you know, and then I was like, "Well, do you know what? If you have trouble, doing math, or let's do your side words," and they are so eager to, sit next to me when I come in after I was like come from student teaching, and then I come there. They always scream, "Miss Carmen, yay! Thank God you're here." It's so heartwarming and great, and I love love to teach them something. So yeah. So number 3, connection to other course material and or assignments. How did the book help you understand behavior modifications? Uh, yeah, behavior modifications. This is uh, like I said before, it helped me to look beyond a child's behavior. Find the reason why the child is behaving like this. Um, as I think a lot of the behavior is because the parents at home do not care, or just give the child a phone or iPad, and just that's all they know, and they are not gonna have no interaction. Or if they scream or whine, they're gonna be just given the tablet because that's what they want. So but this is like rewarding bad behavior, and then they come to school and they think they can do the same thing, and it's like so I wish sometimes parents would think about what they're doing to their child. That is not always the best interest, because we as teacher have to change the behavior, modify the behavior, because you're gonna be like in there. It's not like, and not only in special education, it's in general education too, that you have children, they are just like off the chart. I mean, like crazy, and and just this generation of kids. I wish there was no so much technology. So just me. Um, an example is when Sheila always tore up the worksheets, and sorry, and then show to change the behavior. How hard was is for her. You know for her to change this behavior. And then finally she figured out, oh, when I ignore her, because she wants to do this, then she gonna do it. So it was like eye opening. And now Sheila is doing worksheets and daily journal entries, journal writing. Also, Sheila or Tori taught her to be good in class. Um, the beginning of the book was pretty harsh, where she poked out the eyes of the fish and destroyed the classroom. So yeah, reading this, and then it's a little movie in my mind when I was reading this, and I see her standing there poking the eyes out with the pencil. So, mm, mm, okay, yeah, makes me like, okay, what's gonna see, when I'm gonna go into the classroom and I have somebody. So no fish in my classroom, no animals, no live animals in my classroom. So that's what I learned. So no living creatures in the classroom. Um, I do saw, somebody had to be restrained. It was interesting and scary. Um, so they evacuated everybody to our classroom. Yeah, so it's behavior. I think even general education teachers should go and do some behavior modification exercise for their students, because that's what I have to deal with in the daycare with general education students who are behaving very badly. Your recommendation: should future classes read this book? Should future classes read? Oh, I repeated myself. Why or why not? Is there a better choice or addition that you know of? So, my opinion is yes, please keep this book as your course material, because it will help us understand how damaged children can be. Uh, we can help them change. We can teach them, life skills. We can teach them manners. We can teach them everything they have to know to bloom into a great flower and make a difference in their lives, because it takes one person who can make a difference. It can be me, it can be you. I'm sitting next to this child at daycare, and I'm listening to his problems or to her problems, or help them, doing counting or adding or doing side words with them. And I hope and I pray that they're gonna remember me when they are older and have a different situation, or the same situation they find them in, and they think, hey, Miss Carmen from daycare, she showed me how to multiply. She showed me how to add up. And I'm really grateful she did this. She was sitting there and she was helping me. So this is like, what it is a good book. It is emotional. It is hard to read some of the stuff, especially the sexual abuse. Just when I crawl into book and choke the uncle out. Um, it's just me. So also shows how consistency can change our behavior. So, and I was taught also from every single special education teacher I was talking to through my semester of observation: consistency, consistency, consistency. Do not raise your voice. Consistency, consistency, and pick your battles. And so this is like I put them in my head, put in my folder, and I will remember consistency, consistency, consistency. And do not raise your voice. If you need a minute, tell your parapros to walk out. You're gonna go and tell them you have to go bathroom, or take 5, walk out, calm down, and come back and revisit the situation. So, um, so what I want to add is, but this has not, it has something to do with your course and all stuff. But also, so we was in the reading class. We was reading Fish in a Tree. It's about dyslexia, and then Wanda is about a disabled boy. And Out of My Mind, Counting by Seven, is about autism. This would be good teaching tools you could throw in there for future teacher. you know when they maybe go co-teach or do general education with the special education, so they can talk about this. So these are books are like for middle school and high school, and it's just like, it's like a starter, for for what are disabilities, that we are not different, and we are just thinking differently. So I think differently or learn differently as you, or as the, my cohort people. So I just want to tell you that Fish in the Tree, Wonder, and Out of My Mind, and Counting by Seven. There's many more, but this was like on top of my head. It was like these books, and I just want to share them with you. And I read Wonder to my with Connor, and Out of My Mind, I'm trying to read during my break, and Counting by Seven was a really good book too. So, um, yeah, it, he was telling his story from the artistic way. Great, awesome, awesome, awesome. So it's like thinking normal. What is normal? But going into the mind of an autistic, high function autistic boy, it's awesome. I loved it. So um, that's all. I hope. Yes, I'm a talk. I'm sorry, but I would tell you, please keep this book for a future teacher to read. I learned a lot, and I opened my mind and my heart to be open minded and not closed minded, and let the student, you know, teach you something, and have a relationship with them. So I think that's the way to go. Thank you.